April of 1948, she had discovered that her husband had broken his vow of faith. She hadn't minded at first, but when he showed signs of growing distant over a city walker, she became desperate. She didn't want to lose her husband's lucre over a 2-cent fling. She was an out-of-work writer with nowhere to go but an empty house and the arms of a man who never looked her in the eye. So she took the gun entrusted to her by her father for protection and took care of the problem herself. She refused to lose to a hoofer with skinny gams and personality that could only be bought. And from the moment she pulled the trigger, she knew she did not regret it. But then he came to her door. Crude, rude, unwanted, and hired by her late husband's mistress. She had every reason to hate him from the moment he let that smirk crawl into his lips. He had no sense of decency. He called her a dame and drank her liquor, interrupted her work, and broke into her house on what seemed to be a regular basis. But over time, she realized his smile held no knowledge or skill, and his tactics contained no strategy. She allowed herself to be amused by the man. No one had ever treated her in such a way before, so direct and straightforward. And after more time had passed, she realized she enjoyed his company. She found herself relaxing in his presence, and slowly, she allowed her guard to come down. And eventually, she found herself in love. They were going to get married, run away from the dirty city life, and start over together. She would tell him then, tell him everything about what had happened, and she knew he would love her anyway. But his look was so cold. He didn't care about the plans they'd made together. He said he was going to arrest her anyway. He had used her emotions to get closer to the evidence of a murder that had the same value as the faded news of the New York Times. She would get the chair, or maybe even a hanging, and he would be the one to place the rope around her neck. And so, with the same gun she had used to murder her husband, she killed the only man she had ever loved.